Welcome to the Cross Canada Spotlight. I'm Ross Hall. Every week we take a look at a handful of the most interesting and entertaining stories produced across the Global News Network. We start this week in Quebec, where a group representing the province's dairy industry is looking at a special government designation for the term poutine in order to better promote it internationally.
And here, yes, the poutine is like a national dish.
Poutine is made with 3 simple ingredients, but the comfort food has worked its way into Quebecers' stomachs and hearts. Restaurants across the province like Ma Poule Mouillée have put their own twist on the iconic dish. Over the past few years, the chicken joint has seen its Portuguese poutine grow in popularity every day.
I think now poutine is very in, and it's in to stay.
The Quebec Dairy Council also sees great potential for growth.
We think that maybe the poutine will be the next fast food product that will be very spread wide world.
That's why the group is currently trying to obtain reserve designation status from the Quebec government. Their goal is to protect the identity of squishy cheese curds and poutine as an authentic Quebecois delicacy.
Our objective is not to prevent the other to do, it's just to say, look, we are the creator of these meals, we are the creator of this kind of cheese.
The author of the book, Poutine Nation, claims the first one originated by accident in a Warwick restaurant in the 1950s.
Fernand Lachance in 1957 was just responding to a customer coming into his restaurant saying, "I'm in a hurry, could you please just put the cheese with the fries?"
Gravy was only poured on top a few years later in a Drummondville diner.
But the inventor of poutine is actually Jean-Paul Leroy, and he actually was the first one to mix all 3 main elements of poutine: gravy, cheese curds, and fries.
Real poutine gets its signature squeak from Quebec cheese curds. If protected, Langlois says it can give the province's dairy industry a much-needed boost after the pandemic and competition from trade deals.
We hope that this kind of strategy will help the cheese industry to be developed, to grow in Quebec and create jobs and create interest.
The Dairy Council's proposal is still in its first steps. Poutine could be protected in a year or 5, but regardless of an official designation, the dish many love and crave is here to stay. Olivia O'Malley, Global News, Montreal.
Well, fascinating to learn that just like many inventions, poutine was discovered by chance, all because someone was in a rush at a restaurant, then eventually developed into that culinary trifecta of fries, cheese, and gravy that we all know today. Well, on to the snack that many turn to on hot summer days, ice cream. Meet some high school students in Saskatchewan who are trying their hand as entrepreneurs to raise some extra money. Take a look.
There you go. The idea for Cones, an ice cream stand located in Martinsville's Kinsman Park, came to 3 teenage friends in Alex Garchinsky's garage as they planned summer job ideas.
Carson Hikert, he said, well, let's open an ice cream stand. There used to be one here. They did pretty good. So why not do that? And I think he meant it a bit more of as a joke.
The 3 friends are certainly laughing now. Cones opened 2 weeks ago, and after nearly selling out on their first night, the trio were able to pay back their parents, who supplied the initial startup money.
It felt amazing. We never could have expected to have that many people come in the first day. It was crazy to just see the whole community come together and come to the shop.
After you closed up and saw the success that was really there that first day, it was you were sure you were going to be able to do it as much as you could.
The 3 look at this venture as an opportunity to not only learn the ins and outs of running a business, but also view it as a profitable way to spend the summer with your closest friends.
Being able to just work here with them, it makes it almost seem like it's not even work at that point.
During tough times, of course, with COVID, it's even harder to do something fun, but I think we're doing that now, having everyone come together.
From submitting a business proposal to the city to their daily duties running the shop, the boys have learned many lessons that they hope to apply early and often in life.
We're always working now and then towards the next step, and then we're working until eventually we can all go golfing in Palm Springs and retire early.
Cones is open Monday to Friday from 3 till 9 and from 11 till 9 on weekends from now until the Labor Day long weekend. Brendan Purdy, Global News.
Well, considering some of the jobs I had growing up, selling ice cream isn't a bad gig at all. Plus, the added perk of being able to give their product a taste once in a while is definitely a benefit. Well, summer and a glass of wine on a patio go really well together too. And in Kelowna, BC, once you've enjoyed your favorite vintage, you can even recycle the cork. Watch this.
It's a familiar sound in the Okanagan. Now, indulging in the fruits of the valley is that much sweeter because of a pilot program that is a partnership with Return It and Soul, a company that makes eco-friendly cork footwear.
This hasn't really been done before, where you've tried to collect cork through a public collection site like a depot on a large scale. So I think we're kind of going into it not really knowing what to expect. But I think, at the end of the day, the ultimate objective of keeping this material out of landfill.
Right now, the only Return It location collecting natural wine corks is in West Kelowna at the Boucherie Self-Storage and Bottle. Then they are sent to Recork, a natural wine cork recycling program run by Soul, where they repurpose the material to become an eco-friendly alternative.
Cork is a great material. It's natural. It's actually carbon negative material. And it can be repurposed, and in this case, into new consumer items like footwear, where it can replace petroleum-based foams and plastics.
All footwear is made from between 22 and 60 recycled wine corks. Recork has been collecting wine corks since 2008 and has since collected thousands of corks.
By using recycled cork, we're prolonging the life of this, sustainable, versatile material. And in addition, it has some benefits. It's environmentally friendly. It's naturally elastic. It's moisture wicking, naturally antimicrobial, meaning odor reducing and insulating.
The pilot program will run until December, and if it's successful, the program will be expanded across the province. Sydney Morton, Global News, West Kelowna.
A great example of how something we're used to just throwing away can be repurposed and go into making some impressive products. Wine and shoes may be a new retail opportunity. Well, now to the story of a Calgary man doing his part for the environment by collecting thousands of masks and spreading the word about not carelessly tossing them away. Check this out.
Cycling in the sunshine. You just can't beat it.
I'd love the exercise, the air, and the freedom.
And now something new on his daily rides. Charlie Hunter is a man on a mission.
I'm looking for masks.
Never in short supply these days.
They're everywhere.
Making his regular rounds, making quite an impression on the regulars along the way.
I think it's great.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Always wearing his distinctive PPE.
My wife provided this dishwashing glove for me.
She's glad to be a part of it.
This is over 2,000,
Thanks to this retired teacher who could teach us all a lesson.
He just does this kind of thing all the time to help out and to do something that's positive for the environment and for the community.
2,200 of them he's collected since he started 2 months ago. Not tossing any in the trash until he's cut off the ear loops.
Because the loops in landfill, seagulls and other creatures can get their heads caught in there.
That is bad. People just tossing them.
Some people have no brains in their heads.
They're very lazy is what it is.
To those people, I'd say, please be more respectful of this beautiful country. A few people have thanked me for doing it, but I think some people are pretty leery about a guy riding around with a pink glove picking up masks. Actually, it's my COVID sport.
Gil Tucker, Global News.
Important lesson there from a retired teacher, not only ridding Calgary streets of those unsightly masks, but even taking the time to cut off those ear loops to protect wildlife in landfills. Well, finally this week, we head to New Brunswick, where a teacher is collecting shoes with his grade 4 class as a lesson to honor the memories of Indigenous residential school students.
These grade 4 students have never walked in the shoes of Indigenous students attending residential schools in Canada, but they're now learning the history.
People took them away from their families, so the parents or brothers or sisters didn't get to see them.
This grade 4 teacher, along with his educational assistant, decided to pay tribute to those Indigenous students by asking his own students to place 215 pairs of shoes along the fence outside of Riverview East School.
A bunch of kids from different classes in our school donated shoes for us to do this project.
While his students hang the shoes,
something that we always need to keep in mind,
Hooper is also educating them about the history of residential schools in Canada.
When I was their age, we never learned anything about this that I can recall.
In keeping with the Education Act passed in 1997, all school districts are required to introduce Indigenous culture and history into the classroom. Ceremonial elder and knowledge keeper Donna Augustine from Elsipogtog First Nation said that every school across Canada from kindergarten to grade 12 should be teaching Indigenous history as part of the required curriculum, with guidance from the Indigenous community.
True history of our people has not been taught in schools. And so even though it's hard to look at, it needs to be brought out. The truth needs to be brought out. These children that were found, their spirits, imagine how long they waited to be found.
Meanwhile, at Riverview East, that education continues. The shoes will remain on the fence until the end of the school year, after which many will be donated to Goodwill.
An installation like this, I think, fosters conversation among parents and grandparents, and people are visiting our school as well.
Andy Hopes highlights the importance that everyone, not just students, learns the story behind the history. Shelley Steeves, Global News, Moncton.
A touching tribute to highlight the importance of students, teachers, and the community getting engaged and learning about Indigenous history. Well, that's it for Cross Canada Spotlight this week. Be sure to watch Global News Weekend Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. on the Global TV app. For now, stay tuned for more news and weather.